Hello Capricorn, Michele B here. I got a little reading for you. I use the Solace Divinity Tarot. I use the Golden Universal. I use the Art Nouveau, Golden Art Nouveau. I'll gild it up. And I did use, for one card, I used my itty bitty little mini me Rider-Waite deck. All of these were Rider-Waite. At the very end, I'm going to use choose an affirmation for you from my wholeness cards from the Salvage Sawhorse. So let's go ahead and get started. I want you to know, Capricorn, that the overall energy of the whole reading is that of making decisions for yourself, listening to your intuition, and following your gut, so to speak, even though your logic says you should be doing this, you should be doing that, even though your logic says, well, it makes sense that everything's okay, there's something intuitively that's like something's not right. All right, so that's something that's coming up. Something's not right. You're being told that it is okay for you to hang out, to prioritize your own company as much as possible, at least for the next 12 days. So that's what you're embracing for the next 12 days is I'm going to embrace my own company, embrace my internal guidance system. I'm going to instead work on my own health, vitality, and emotional stability, prioritizing that above anything else right now. Now, I'm going to be looking at your abundance, your money guidance, and I'm also going to be looking at your love guidance. So if you would like to learn more about either of those, please stay tuned for the rest of the reading. I'm going to go ahead and first I need to talk about what to leave behind, and then I'm going to get started with the money. What to leave behind, the card that I pulled out, we had the Five of Cups that came up in reverse. There's a lot of racket going on outside, and I've got a little boy here because it's still summer vacation, so please forgive the noise. I can't tell him to be quiet because he's got headphones on. The Five of Cups, in this case, to me, is representing there's been a vibration in your, around you. It's just like it's something that somebody put in your head, like maybe from your childhood or something you saw in stories and movies, but it's like it's kind of permeating who you are. It's just hanging out like a little anxiety, a little niggle. It's saying, I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. I didn't make the right choices. I didn't do the best thing. I didn't choose the best thing. So that's been hanging out, I think, probably your whole life. Like, I didn't work hard enough. I didn't make the right choices, kind of energy there. You're being asked to let that go. You're being asked to leave it behind and instead embrace the fact that you've always been on the right path. You are always divinely guided. The path that you have taken through your life so far has brought you to where you are at this moment, and that's not such a shitty place. It's actually not that bad, right? When we look at our lives in gratitude, and I did get that card in your love life, like, actually, things are pretty good for me right now. Also, this one, things are pretty good for me right now. I'm doing pretty okay. All right. So if you say everything, all the choices that you made so far have led you to that place of being okay, well, then that's pretty damn good, right? In Western culture, there's so much emphasis on personal responsibility for where you are in your life. And there are a lot more factors. In reality, it's a lot more complicated than what you can do for yourself, than the choices that you individually make. There's so many more factors going into the outcomes in your life, and you're being told that what you've been doing is the right place for you. You are in the right place for you. Now, let's look at the money stuff first, and then we're going to look at the love stuff. The reason that I focus on the money and love is because that's what people want to know the most about. I'll give you what you want. So with the Solace Divinity deck, I'm looking at what's going on internally. It's like a snapshot of where you are right now as it's passing, right? It's moving toward the past. And every moment you can pivot into a new future. So we're not looking at what's going on in the future, we're looking at where it was, right? That's all we can see at this moment. The future is not set in stone in any kind of way so far. But there is a little bit of a likelihood of something happening according to the trajectory that I can see in these cards, okay? So keep an eye out for that. First, let's look at what's going on internally, and these are all really great major arcana cards. We got the Magician, Temperance, and the Sun. You're in a place where you're like, I can make things happen. I've got some ideas. I've got some inspiration. I want to make some things happen, right? I got the tools. I got some money. I got some knowledge. I got some things that I can put together. You've been pacing yourself. You've been living in kind of a holistic balance when it comes to your resources, a healthy balance, like, investing properly, making sure your bills are paid on time and all that stuff. It's really good. And so you're getting to a point where you can do things that you enjoy doing, right? I can do things I enjoy doing. But with that Magician being here, I'm getting the sense that at present, you're thinking about what you can be doing later. There might be a specific idea you're juggling. For those of you who need to know this, right? If there's a specific idea that you're like churning, and maybe you're even talking to somebody else about, it looks like an opportunity, but there is a warning here. This is the only thing I could get from this set of cards that came up. That there's a warning here that it may be foolish to take a leap at this time for an opportunity that's out there. If there's like the slightest little hint for you in your gut, right? If there's a slightest little hint that something is amiss, remember that Michele told you this, right? Remember that Michele's cards were like, hey, watch out. Because look at this. Something isn't what it seems. I'm not saying that somebody is a liar. I'm saying that it isn't what you think it is. What's going on is not what you think is going on. Reality and what you're seeing with your senses are not the same thing. And your gut has a hint about it. Okay? All right. So that's what this card, the Seven of Cards, doesn't mean somebody's ripping you off. It means that you don't know what's going on with them. You can't get the full picture because they aren't being totally transparent. It's not that they're lying, it's just not totally transparent. So, it could be that there's somebody in your presence that isn't fully aligned with their own truth that's affecting your bottom line, your abundance, your prosperity, your resources, okay? Could be a partner, could be co-worker, or a business partner or something like that. Someone isn't fully aligned with themselves. They're like hiding from themselves in some way, and that's affecting how your business is going, how your resources are coming in. Okay. All right. I just got like a little whisper for those of you who are not in business. It might be that a partner is not in alignment with their habits. They don't want to see the truth about their habits, and it's affecting your bottom line. So you're being told to just be cautious, be careful, make sure and check in with yourself, what you're comfortable with, what's cool with you, what you're comfortable with. Okay. So I'm going to move on to, we're gonna relook at this again in 12 days. Okay. So we'll see where we're at then. But looking at your love messages, what did I get? Overall, I get this sense that you're like, I don't feel cool with. Some of you are in relationships and they're just kind of doing okay, so that's not your priority. Like where relationships are kind of on autopilot and you don't have to do a lot to maintain them. You just, you do your thing and everything is harmonious and it's okay. So there's some of you that are like that, right? And it's just not the main concern for you right now. But for those of you who are not in relationships but want to be in one, there's a part of you that's like, I don't feel ready for that. Like I feel on guard, I feel unsafe with the idea. Now, it could be that some of you don't want to go out because of the pandemic. Because it's like I don't feel ready I want a relationship, but I don't feel ready to bring someone new in. I feel unsafe with the idea of bringing someone new into my life, of sharing my vulnerability with someone else. It's okay, you don't have to. The Chariot being in reverse, it's like the reverse of your cardinal energy that wants to go forward, has an inspiration and wants to go forward and wants to go towards success. That there's a limit, and I do feel like it's mostly self-imposed. Just because there's some PTSD kind of anxieties when it comes to connecting with others, okay? And this could also be going on for those of you who are in a relationship right now that's not blooming to its fullest potential, is that on your part, a lack of desire to be completely vulnerable with your partner has taken the relationship only to a certain point. And it could go on beyond that, but you're not ready for that yet. It's okay though, you don't have to be. If you don't want to be, you don't have to be. It's up to you. You get to choose your own path. That's what karma is you getting to choose where you're going to go, but you got to take responsibility for that. Like, okay, I can't have a really deep, soulful connection with someone because I'm not ready to face my traumas and, look at that clearly. Okay, got a trained friend coming. All right, but look at this. You're being loved and supported by your friends. I don't feel like you have any lack of social interaction if you would like to have it. People love you, people think you're great, all right? So, cool, all right? You don't have to do any of that extra stuff. So what I got here, I got these 3, I'm doing all right cards. So the cards are like, yeah, you're doing all right, Capricorn. Things are pretty good in your world. Instead of thinking like I should be dating someone, I would like to eventually be in a relationship, so I should be dating, I should be getting myself out there, I should be taking the next step in the partnership that I'm in right now, on the escalator relationship. I should be going on to the next thing. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. Instead, you get to work on you. You get to find that balance within yourself. We also had that coming up in the money department, right? You get to work on your own emotional and physical balance. Ideally, when we start relationships, when we kick them off in the beginning, ideally we've already kind of gotten a pretty good idea. I've gotten a pretty good snapshot of who we are, what creates wholeness within us, and what fractures us, right? But that's not what actually happens most of the time. Most of the time, we think we're doing okay on our own, and then we get together with somebody, and then it's like, oh crap, now we found out how screwed up we really are. Oh, maybe that's me. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah. That's everybody. So yeah, eventually you have to let down your guard if you do want to have a deep, soulful connection. 100% awesome, excellent relationship, instead of just like, yeah, we live together, we love each other, and that's just like, we don't talk about it. If you want that, you're gonna have to let down your guard. You're gonna have to let yourself be vulnerable. You have to put yourself out in the battlefield. You have to put yourself out in the arena and be ready to spar with your partner when it comes time for that. And I think that's kind of what the Chariot is representing. But first we have to get to the point where we can really love ourselves, can really nurture ourselves, and just be cool with sitting with who we are, without like just being like, oh, you should have done better, right? Okay, but otherwise things are pretty darn good in Capricorn's life. I see lots of really good cards. I feel it's like I'm cool with my own company right now. I'm just gonna like do my thing and take care of myself right now. That's awesome. Let's look at what your affirmation is for the next 12 days, and then we'll finish up. What is your affirmation from the Wholeness deck by the Salvaged Sawhorse? I love this deck. I picked it up last week, and I was like, all right, that's the sign. It's time to go back to start doing readings again. This is wonderful. I forgive myself for past mistakes. And I love that it all came together with this. It's like, it's okay for me to take time on my own so that I can just be cool with me. And when it comes time for you, when you become more, as you become increasingly cool with yourself, yeah, I'm cool with myself. I like who I am. It's like you can look in the mirror and be like, I like that person, right? That person still got up every day, even though they made mistakes. Even though they didn't do the best that they possibly could in all situations. I'm still there for me. I still love me. I'm still taking care of me. And I like that about me. All right, this is where I close off. I forgive myself for past mistakes. Just be cool with you. You're okay. Treat yourself as you would a child. Children make mistakes. They drop the glass. They shatter it. Give them a hug. It's okay. Love you, Capricorn. I'll see you in 12 days.